wish to do a recap?
Mom and Dad didn't settle their differences, but they did have to confront other problems and set them aside for a moment. Uh, but while that was happening, two little shits dropped out of the sky on top of them after they basically gave the biggest fuck you ever to Tiamat.
No.
Uh, no damage, just the most insulting way to be like ignore someone and taunt them, and then be like, okay, bye.
See you later, shitlord.
um,
See you later, Stinky.
Well, goodbye.
there's a whole lot more to that. There's chase. There was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bad at these. There was an escape. There was a chase. There was
Albie was a thief.
fucking
Damn dirty thief.
poor Evangeline had to see that version of their biological father die, and then be told, "Hey, now kill the adoptive father." So that's gonna be fun for them to unravel later. Unpack all that some other point. Someone else chime in, please. I'm floundering here.
Honestly, it's like if nobody else wants to, I can. So yeah, you guys started out. We started out with Digit and Varaxis. Y'all confronted Tiamat, and just like how Dirt said, basically, we're like, nah, go fuck yourself. Almost died a myriad of times. Digit got his back broken via a tail, sending him conveniently flying like he was a fucking little golf ball, straight through the portal. Caused an unconscious Digit as well as a yes conscious Varaxis to practically fall on top of Esteban. Esteban gave his biased view of the situation in their trial. Digit and Varaxis being horribly injured, kind of limped along. Evangeline, not understanding how crime works, went to go hand over the box of monies to the guards. Guards happily took it. Oh, that's not good. Oh, you're not muted in Discord.
No, it was my headset being a little shit.
Oh, that's not good.
I was trying to defend my honor.
Oh. Yeah, well. Yeah. Evangeline handed over the box, or more specifically, put the box on the ground. Guards took it. The guards have money now, but it's also a trial-scape, so they're not real.
They're real to hurt.
They're real to Cleaners came to town, and Esteban was like, we gotta fucking do something as long as it's not here. Evangeline heard somebody dying, went to go investigate. Esteban was like, no, please, for the love of fucking God, don't do that. Evangeline did it anyways, found their biological father dying on the ground. Tried to heal him, kept getting interrupted repeatedly by little tiny needles that worked as consumable counterspells. And Vimtil dies. Evangeline's devastated. Or just shocked. And then Raylan appears, and it's like, haha, guess what fucker is me? And then basically kept taunting Evangeline to try to stab him after the party realized that the portal was basically in Raylan's chest. um, Evangeline refused to do it. And Raylan was like talking basically as the trial went, "Good job, kid," and then threw a portal down and then turned into mist. All 4 of the party members used the portal. And then y'all fucking airdropped into Dirt's trial, in which everybody got their weapons back. Dirt having to protect his soul against an army of Warforged. Y'all made pretty quick work of the small army around the portal after you guys tried to make an escape through discovering that the portal wasn't going to let you guys through until all of the enemies were killed. Y'all killed the enemies, went through the portal, and that is where we are now. So you guys go through the portal, and you pop out, and you see Alcanor and Razor as Alcanor kind of looks at you, goes, "Oh, hey, welcome back. It's only been a couple days." All of you seem to be alive, so that's good.
Evangeline just gives a thumbs up. that is as much as her mind is processing at the moment.
I won't ask you exactly what happened in there. It is not really that important, but the fact that you are all out of there means you should be good. At least prepared enough to face the Aboleth when the time comes. There's only going to be a couple days left until he should be here. So, we should probably start making it back to town. And you should all get your rest. But before that, he looks to you, Digit, and he goes, "Now that you will all have access to the inner city, you should go talk to the Archivist." But he'll look to you guys and go, "If everyone is ready, let's get the move on." He hands back any weapons that you guys handed over. I think it was pretty much just Digit, I think. It might have been. It's been a while.
I think it was just Digit.
I don't remember.
It's been a while. But everyone, all of your weapons are back with you. The ones that brought with you to the trials, at least. Those of you who kept your weapons with Algrex, that's still over at the forge. But yeah. Anybody have any objections to getting back to town?
No, it's fucking cold out here. Let's
Works
go.
for me. I have. I mean, I don't even. We were in there for 2 days.
Yes, it's about how long it's been, yes.
Was any of that I saw real?
I don't know what you saw, so I cannot say.
I'll preface it and just say I told Tiamat to fuck herself.
Honestly, I wish I could tell you. I have no clue. When you guys look down at yourselves, by the way, you don't see any visible injuries. Any that you might have sustained.
Oh yeah, I got rocketed fucking.
You got 1-2 punched a couple times.
I think it was one solid good time.
Yeah, I think it was one crit and another hit. Brought you to half health instantly.
Hey, I did mow the lawn a little bit though, so it was well.
Cut some grass. Cut some metallic grass. But yeah, he just goes, "I wish I could tell you if it was real or not, but the waterborne don't have the capacity to go through the trials, so the only ones who can tell if it was real is going to be all of you.
Well, we know. Pretty sure parts of it are real.
I hope.
Alcor shrugs.
It's like,
yeah.
if not, my soul really sucked.
Yeah. You guys start walking back to Jailer City. Doesn't take too long. As described before, is like the Forge Town. The distance between the Forge Town and the dungeon are not like super far away. So it takes maybe like a few hours to get back. And we'll go ahead and reactivate. Here, drag you guys, bring you over here. Bring you right over here. And yeah, you guys find yourselves back in town. Alcanor will look at you guys and just go, if you wish to sleep, there are a few more days until the Aboleth shows, so take your time to prepare, both recuperating your energies and possibly picking up everything that you need from Algorex. But, Digit, I believe, was your name, yes?
As me. I'm gonna do my best, dude. I'm sorry. I'm hit with another wave right now.
Mm-hmm.
Get you some cocaine, buddy. Don't worry.
He needs no more drugs on top of the ones he's already on.
Please, I'm on 5 right now.
Yeah. He looks to you, Digit, and he goes, You'll need to talk to the archivist, preferably before we go to fight. If you need time, just let me know, and we'll let you through the gate. But it'll be only you, Digit, that will be talking to the archivist. The rest of you cannot see him.
Because of Aboleth and it eats us, yep.
Correct. The less individuals to interact with him or them, no idea, the better.
Nope, understand that one.
But kind of nods and he goes, if there's anything you'll need, you know what to find me. And him and Razor will start kind of just walking towards the gate. But yeah, you guys have the run of the town again. Do what you guys are needing to do. And when you're ready, Alcanor will let Digit into the inner city to go talk with the archivist. But otherwise, what do you guys want to do?
I would assume we're gonna probably go get our stuff.
It's the right
Dirt
building.
just... No. That's the warehouse. This waterborne guard sees you go in and he goes, "Oh, if you're looking for Algorex," yeah, he points towards the door you are now walking towards.
Dirt's like, I got it. I remember it. I remember it.
Look, sorry, my soul was out of my body for a while.
Still is.
Get out of the way.
But yeah, you see Algorex kind of working the forge. God, he moves so far every time I move him. Moves a full just square. Yeah, Tin is just doing stuff, feeding the fire, just making sure everything's nice and tidy and good to go. Making sure that that Algorex can focus on just doing blacksmith things, and focus on just that. Tin, seeing you guys come in, will kind of poke at Algrex. And he'll turn to look at you guys and goes, "Oh, welcome back."
We made it.
Hi.
We live. Woo.
That's good. I should have everything you need. Everything that you handed to me, at least. And he looks over to Tin, and he goes, "Go ahead and fetch their belongings, if you would." Tin kind of just salutes and goes over to the door. Goes in, and you hear just some rifling for, like, just some stuff being moved around in the back. And Tin comes back out. Or, you don't see Tin. You just see a mobile pile of equipment. As just kind of, Alcrek steps out of the way. Tin just kind of moves. Topmost has got your staff. Evangeline.
She'll grab it and kind of nod her head. Kind of then realize that maybe he can't see.
You better say you just see the pile of equipment just kind of bob for a second.
Thank you.
The most visually occluding thing. Tin walks over to you, Dirt, and when you look at this armor for a second, it probably takes you a second to realize that this armor is actually yours. And you are given a what looks to be a combination. If this were probably topside, probably would look a little bit more normal. But this looks like a combination of like the plates from the frost stalkers you guys have fought before, different like monster parts. And
Monster Hunter.
yeah, and mechanically, while it isn't magical, it is splint.
Cool.
Yeah, he kind of stands there waiting for you to grab it.
And there will scoop everything up like, thanks.
Um,
He cuts off his. He was gonna say little buddy, but he remembers and blows. Just more like, thank you.
Thanks, little guy. Oh, where did my legs go? Cool. The other people that handed stuff over. Oh, it was also you, Dirt. Yeah. So you pick up your shield, as well as your mace by extension. Your mace hasn't been changed very much, but your shield, before it had like kind of a bit of a how to describe it. It looked still more like wooden, and you still have like the hook horror claws that are kind of like magically embedded in it in a way of like they don't like interfere or anything, but they look like the little spots like you would if you know like the needler from like Halo.
Yeah.
Kind of what the hook horror claws kind of look like little slots. And you see that there is like an addition again of like more Froststalker scales. And depending on the like angle that you kind of move your shield, you'll partially blind yourself for a second from how reflective it can be. But the more you kind of start to kind of reattune to shield, you see that the reflection kind of starts to fade a bit, to where if you kind of aim it at yourself, you could actually see a bit of your reflection. And when you look in there, you swear for just a second, you see Vox. Just for a second.
Oh, oh.
Friend.
Me?
Huh?
Is this a mirror?
Yeah, it's a reflection when you look at it.
A mirror that shows my own
Shows
self,
your
kind of.
shows at least a part of your soul.
Huh.
But
That's cool. Dirt's
yeah.
definitely like trying to angle it so he can look at others through the reflection now.
If you see Dirt, are you just gonna aim it at Evangeline?
No, not yet.
She's not paying attention. Do it.
Well, it's not like it'd be facing you in the sense that you'd see yourself. The way it'd work is if you looked into it, you'd probably actually see me, and I'd be looking at you through it. So yeah, we'll do that.
1,000 yards spare.
I'm looking at
Stare.
Evangeline through the reflection.
You see Evangeline as Evangeline.
Yeah. The Dirt's like, okay, that's cool.
You
And
see,
also a good way to check for any imposters.
yeah, actually, if you, I would say if you, I would probably allow, just because of the nature of like how part of that upgrade works, if you see like somebody else's reflection in it, I would probably allow some sort of insight check to
Ooh.
figure out, one, if they've got a soul.
Ooh. That's cool.
Just a sec.
That's like, I've got my Beyond sheet open too, just because it's easier to switch to fucking.
Yeah, I've got to get your thing like updated.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll have. I think what I was trying
Yeah,
to
you're
say
good there.
earlier was I'll have everything finalized, like fully, like by next session. So
Oops, I'm into it.
you'll see Tin also kind of walking around like he's looking for someone else. And you see that he does have a much smaller bit of armor that he's still carrying. And kind of just looking around, and Algrex goes, where is your what was
The smaller dragon one, or
yes,
the
that
fuzzy one?
No. The smaller dragon one.
1 second.
I'm
You're
here.
just gonna have to go. He's literally falling asleep at the keyboard. The meds that
Rax is
yeah.
over.
the meds that he's on is making him hyper drowsy.
Oh, fair. That's very fair.
I am here just short.
Oh, you are here? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, then Tin will walk over to you and hand you your gear. And you have a kobold-sized suit of basically Monster Hunter-ized plate.
Oh, lovely.
Once again, a lot of the materials that they used were mostly Froststalkers, Frostworm parts, things like that. You still see like metals and shit, but if it's a scaled section or a more lightweight portion of it, it uses monster parts. But yeah, you've got a suit of plate. Dirt, you have gotten upgraded into splint.
What would
Evangeline.
this
What's up?
classify as in the list of things on D&D Beyond?
Heavy armor.
No, I mean,
It's plate.
which
plate.
variation of
Oh.
plate?
Oh, it just says plate. Should be
Okay.
just plate, like just straight up.
Because I didn't know if you wanted to do something crazy like the armor of gleaming plate,
Oh no.
which all it does is not get dirty. It's the
I
most
love that, by the
useful.
way. That shit's
It's the most
hilarious.
useful item ever.
Oh, yeah, no, it's just regular old plate. I say regular old plate, but if you tried to sell something like this armor on the outside, you'd probably make a fucking fortune off of them.
Normal plate goes for 1,500 gold minimum.
Yeah, and this is like exotic monster parts, or not exotic to you guys,
But exotic to topside.
exotic to
everyone
the
that isn't in
outside.
the mall.
Yeah, everyone that isn't in the mod, this is exotic. To you guys, this is like, oh, thank God, maybe I won't get fucking impaled.
You would see Rex is just
You
starting
sure
to
it's
put on
not
the plate
smoldering
armor.
armor plate? For our little gremlin.
What was that?
I said, you sure it's not the smoldering armor plate for our gremlin?
God.
I love zooming in and seeing his little smile.
That's
Also,
not
I
a
would
smile.
like to-
That's a mustache.
Not a smile, a deadpan look and mustache.
He's a mustache.
He's a fancy
His
laugh.
eyes look like they're drawn on and everything, just like
Oh,
the
it
mustache.
all looks like it's drawn on.
Also, I would
I
like to
love it.
specify that Brax's clothes underneath his armor is absolute shit. Like we're talking fucking rags.
Dirt takes off his clothes to put on the armor and then puts the clothes over the armor. Because the armor melds with him.
Yeah.
So, by the way, he does do that right there because again, he doesn't have any parts to be ashamed of. So
Yeah.
just strips, puts on the armor, then puts on the clothes again.
Do you need my
Let
splint?
me- They would have taken your splint when you
Okay.
had left.
Yeah, like they probably took my chainmail and now I have splint.
It didn't necessarily matter what you were doing your trials. So
Wow. Thank you for the upgrades. I'm sure these will come in handy. Probably real soon.
I won't get impaled this time.
Well,
that's
I'll
the
probably
I
still
wouldn't
get
put
impaled
that
this
away.
time.
other things to try. I'm definitely done trying to throw you though, because apparently everything is going to move itself in front of you with spikes.
Love it.
It's okay, I forgive you.
Right? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, I guess. Algrex will look to you, Dirt, and he'll go, I believe they said that they had set aside a bow gun for you as well, as you were requesting one.
Oh yes.
I'd recommend going by the warehouse, and they should be able to get you outfitted.
All right, thank you. I'll probably have to practice, but yeah, that should be a great help. And again, probably the fight that's coming up here.
Anything would help. It is going to be a hell of a fight.
Sounds like it always is. Well, thank you
Um,
again,
Yeah, no, Grox is like, is there anything else you might need? There are still a few more days I might be able to assist if need be.
I can't think of anything. Other than maybe, I don't know how it'd work, but putting pads between the plates. But Dirt looks down at himself and he's like, but it melds with me, so I don't know how much help that'd be.
For Warforged, as much as it
I
sounds
think we're just
rude,
loud.
there's that too, yes. Metal walking around typically is not
No.
the stealthiest. But looking at the ones in your group, it doesn't seem like you're much of a group that goes for
Yeah.
clandestine.
I suppose if anybody needs to be caught, it'd
approaches.
probably be me anyway.
Well, if there's anything you need before a few days from now, I will be more than willing to assist. Otherwise, I will see you all there on the battle.
I'll see you then. I need to go get a bow gun.
You can open the
Oh, there.
door. If you turn
It was
them up-
open on my screen. That's why I was like, "What's happening?"
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cool. So,
I'm back again.
with that, primarily because Digit will not be with us, you guys will see that at some point Digit agreed to go with Alcanor.
Our cat.
Your squirrel has been taken.
My emotional support squirrel.
Oh, that was weird.
But you will find out how that conversation went next session.
I would have walked around with everybody, but for me, it was still showing me in the idle area until I refreshed the page.
Oh, Jesus.
I was just chilling. I'm like, why is he talking about a door? I don't see no doors here.
That's weird.
Where are the doors?
And you refresh. Oh, shit. There's doors everywhere.
I'm like, oh, no wonder they didn't think I was over there. I'm like, no,
Stop
no.
by.
Eh.
There's storage.
Yeah. Guard will just be like, yeah, if you need to go in there and... Oh, you're the one who wanted one of our weapons, yes?
Yeah.
Oh,
They
I
seemed
just thought
very
you were lost
effective. Felt it
earlier.
firsthand.
I just figured you were lost earlier.
Well, combination.
Well, let's get you set up. Goes over to kind of where this pile of anvils are. You just see a bowgun just sitting there. And he hands it over to you. This thing, you've seen it being held by the fucking Waterborne, but this thing is big.
His arrows are bigger than me.
The arrows, that is a, maybe on the map it's a little bit exaggerated, but these are like, javelin / spear length fucking
Firing kobold-sized arrows at people.
Yeah.
So they're almost normal-sized arrows for me.
Well,
Slightly large, a longbow-sized arrow.
it would still be like a javelin for you,
Well, a normal-sized javelin is almost like just a big arrow to dirt, though.
Regardless, these things, Digit ain't gonna be able to wield it. Varaxis isn't gonna be able to wield it.
I could strap them to it and fire them from it. Fuck.
That's dangerous.
It's very dangerous. Yeah, just hands it over to you, and he goes, "All right. So, operation procedures for this are as follows. He kind of just shows you. It almost is kind of like a musket in the way that you load it. You take the spear bolt, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You take the ballista bolt. Place it in like the barrel pull back on the like string, the string of the bow, and then it just locks in place. And there is a small little magazine kind of underneath the like closer to the trigger that is on this weapon. And he goes, "All right, so after you've loaded the bolt, you could fire it like a regular bow, but it'll only go at about a quarter of the speed and not do much. So," and he hands you a little box-like magazine. He hands it over to you, but he demonstrates by taking out the magazine in his bowgun. And we'll show you. You see these, like, they look like weaponized orange crystals. And he goes, "This is going to be how it actually fires. If you don't have these, luckily, the orange crystals, as you can see even inside the town, orange crystals are not necessarily the most difficult to find. As long as you're able to harvest them, you should be able to come up with that explosion necessary to launch the projectile at the appropriate speed and range. You should be able to load this again with just tiny bits of. You look in, there's no like mechanism that like loads them. But it just looks like it's just a little box containing the crystals. Oh, goodbye. Hard to describe bowguns. Ah, there he's back!
Okay.
Squidge being gay.
Hi. Discord is an ass right now.
Discord hates a couple of you guys, like, consistently.
It's hated me consistently for a good while. I'm not sure what I did to it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I left off at the little box portion of it.
Yeah, Yeah. So you heard about the orange crystals and such.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, the box just kind of holds them. And he goes, "I don't quite know exactly how the crystals are used. I just know that they go boom, and it launches the projectile. And then eventually the box runs out of the crystals, and you're going to have to refill it. Like I said, you can use it as if it is a regular, like, bow or crossbow, but it's not going to be nearly as effective. As long as you got those crystals, you should be able to use it in its full capacity. Anyways, so you place that in here, and he demonstrates inserting the magazine into the weapon. And he goes, and then you would fire. Yeah, you can fire it blankly, but it probably wouldn't do a very good job on the actual weapon. Luckily, most of us don't really feel like just dry firing this thing. And that is how you use it. If you run out of crystals, just find some more. But if you're here, we should be able to keep you stocked up. But if you're going further down, the 6th layer, we do know a couple of spots that do have crystal caverns. And he hands you a small little map. There's got a couple of spots marked. You do get a kind of a rough idea of the 6th layer on this map. Because giving you just a map that's blank that has 2 random X's wouldn't really help. You see that about on this horizontal like cut of the 6th layer, you'll see like a couple areas where they're like, we haven't gone over there specifically. That's more closer to the entrance to the 7th, but we don't need or want to go further than that. So a lot of the kind of points to different sections of the map is like, we don't really go over there. There's no need, at least for us. But in this map, about 50% of the paper looks like a city.
Ooh.
Is it wrong that part of me was part of my brain was like, yeah, the gunfire is because there's a little pixie inside it, but it beats that shit with a hammer when it gets in there.
Yeah, he points. You see a large city. And he goes, "That is the Corsil. It has been inoperative for a very long time, from what we have seen. If your goal is to get those reactivated, I wish you the best of luck. But that entire area is swarming with other Warforged. The outskirts of the city are still primarily wildlife, but the moment you enter the city and start approaching any points towards the north where there's a large blank space, the closer you get to the north, where we are assuming is the entrance into the 7th layer, the concentrations of the rogues increases. More automatons, more rogue warforged. They seem to be coming from that direction. And he points towards the south when he says, that will be where the elevator will lead you. They'll bring you down into the 6th layer, and then you will be able to continue up north if your goal is to eventually go further down. Again, don't quite know what's there, so we just know that the Warforged get a bit more aggressive and a little bit more numerous the further north you go. Otherwise, it seems to be very flat. And granted, the core seal does hover over a bit of an abyss. We don't quite know how far the fall is. In order to find out, we would have to go down there, and we don't. So, but and he points towards a couple other areas that are marked like X's. One to like the southwest, and one in the east. And he goes, those are the caverns that you could use to stock up on the orange, like fire crystals. Otherwise, they are crystal caverns. So if you're needing to try to harvest other crystals, that would be a good place to go.
Okay.
But otherwise, as long as you are here, take as many arrows or bolts as you need. If you need to, right before you leave, I would recommend taking some. Otherwise, you're going to have to figure out how to make more.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just goes, any questions?
Is there a place I can practice?
If you're needing to practice, you could go back out into the wastes. I am sure there's some wildlife that could need some culling.
All right.
But
sounds good.
otherwise, waterborne don't really need to. I suppose don't necessarily need to practice. We don't have targets to shoot. Waterborne are very insistent. We are all insistent on learning by doing and surviving. But yeah, if you're wanting to do practice, you're welcome to go out into the wastes. I could generate an encounter for you.
You wanna go fight something?
You gonna fight something?
Wanna go stab?
But yeah, you have a bow gun. And I kind of look to like the everybody else that's not dirt that might be in the warehouse is just going. The rest of you, yeah, you look like you've been through a lot.
Have you even gotten dressed after coming back from the trials?
No.
You should probably get some sleep.
I don't know what that is.
Sleep? Question mark?
What is this sleep thing you speak of?
What is sleep?
Sounds like blasphemy.
Don't go out there alone. If you do,
Oh no, I was just gonna go out probably with one of their next patrols. They seem to send people out often.
okay. Don't go out alone.
Dirk goes out alone.
No, I'm
And he's
Um,
dead.
Evangeline actually turns into an amethyst dragon. Full on.
God fucking damn it, motherfucker! What did I just get to saying? Cool.
If you go out there and die, I'll kill you.
I'll bring
I
you
mean-
back and I'll kill you
Just to
again.
kill you again.
I mean,
Guys, I've
that
already
seems,
died a few times already. I'm not planning on doing it again.
My God.
That's what you say now.
seems counterproductive.
When have I ever tried to die?
He's never tried to die.
Exactly.
He has died, but
We just don't know the semantics
talk
of you
about
dying
that.
the first time, so you know.
he has
That
died
was-
at least once.
I died thousands of years ago.
It's been a couple years, okay, guys? Couple thousand years.
I haven't died yet.
I guess I would talk to any of the guards and be like, next time you'll head out, if I can, I'll tag along with.
Yeah. One of them, like, if you're gonna ask, they just go, we should. A new patrol should be coming back within the next few hours. You should be able to, if you're needing to, if you're wanting to tag along. We know Warforged don't really need sleep, so if you're wanting to be helpful, you could go out with him on the next patrol.
And he'll show off the bowgun and be like, need a little bit of practice before anything big.
You just go to, like, wave it around, like, oh, yep, you have
He's
virtually
definitely not waving
no.
it. He's holding it, pointing up.
And it just goes like,
He's not completely stupid, thank you.
"Wah!"
Only part.
He has an intelligence of 10. I'd say he's average, thank you.
He has a ranged weapon that may or may not be loaded right now.
He knows basics of that. He used a bow, like a crossbow before.
Does he have crossbow proficiency?
I believe so, because he's a fighter. He has proficiency in like all martial tools.
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah, simple and martial weapons,
Yeah.
which crossbow falls under martial. And so does the bowgun, actually.
Yeah,
Martial
because it's
range.
because it's
Crossbow.
heavy crossbow. Yeah, proficiency wise, it just needed to make sure that you have heavy crossbow proficiency, which falls under martial.
Yep.
Cool. For the meat bags, are you planning on going to sleep?
Yeah, Varax is probably gonna go take a nap.
Kind of dragged herself there and thumped on the bed.
I'm really tired of my Discord.
Discord having a seizure again?
Always.
Damn.
Thankfully, you're talking to the meat bags. I'm good to go.
Yeah, meat bags. But yeah, if the fleshlings are going to Betty Bye,
Nappy nap.
we're going to go and I'm going to start with Varaxis.
Dream sequence.
Dream sequence.
Promotions.
Varaxis, it's been a bit since you've last, like, you don't know whether or not the trials were real. So if you assume that the trials were not real, last time you've been in any sort of remote contact with Null, it's been a hot minute. But you go to sleep and wake up in the Airy again. The same, like, platform that you were kind of standing on before. And you see Null in his two-headed glory, kind of just sitting there a little bit closer to you than before. And he looks to you and he goes, I hope the gift that I gave, it seems to have helped. The trial that you were part of,
Is that real?
in a way, I...
He looks conflicted. Like he's trying to give you news that you don't want to hear. And he goes,
The trial was modified, it seems. Part way.
Modified?
I wasn't supposed to be able to interfere. And neither was Tiamat.
That why she was there?
She was there about as much as I was. What you encountered in there was an avatar.
Really angry.
Unfortunately, that was not a projection that you interacted with.
Okay. I said some things.
ah, fuck.
Oh, hey, buddy.
I said some things.
You did. And
She's not happy.
judging off of what you said, oh, he won't. And she's going to send more after you. You are the first kobold in a very long time that has been even capable of separating from her. Part of that was from the effects of the prison you are at currently. As I've said before, worked as a temporary disruption to shake her hold on you. And while I cannot directly stop her, I can give you tools to help in the fight.
And the moment he says that, you see you see the like little skeletal drake that you had interacted with during the trial. You see it flies down on like tattered wings, bits of like it's 90% skeleton, with just tiny bits of like flesh still clinging to it. And he goes,
This one requested to help you. And I see no reason they cannot continue to do so.
And he goes,
Whenever you are in need, call for him, and he will come to your aid.
Does he have a name?
He kind of goes, he's like,
Those who enter the area do not keep their names. It is a way to separate from the mortal cycle. If you wish to give it a name, just know that it is not a binding name. As this one shed their bonds a millennia ago.
Sounds like they've been here a while.
Of course. And coming to the area is the end of your mortal life and the beginning of your life here.
Sounds so much nicer here than in the mall.
he goes,
The only reason why this particular Drake, or those associated with me directly, they, through choice or through extended service, have a tendency to not be as attached to their body. And as my domain is undeath and the afterlife, some might consider those in my service a bit,
Unsettling?
yes, as it is a manifestation of my power. But I assure you it is not painful. It is merely another form of existing.
While I'm here, so do you know anything about the Abeloth that we're gonna have to deal with? Or an Abeloth in general?
I do not know of the specific aboleth you will be encountering. But they are... Some are. Most are older than some of the even oldest gods.
No way to
They...
get rid of it permanently, I'm guessing.
none that anyone's been able to find out. As aboleths existed before gods, as the Oberiths have existed before gods, the cycles of life and death are not as direct for them. They do not fit into the big picture. They are outsiders.
So they are definitely odd.
That is a way to describe it, yes. As for how to fight it, I believe the individuals you have interacted with have about the same information as I would be able to give. They have a immaculate memory that is shared between generations. Death is not really death for them. And when they return, they maintain the knowledge of their previous form. Aboleths are, well, in a way to describe it in the wild, they're the worst kind of persistence predator.
That sounds terrifying.
It's why the best way to deal with them is to place them in a situation that they cannot escape from. And the gods have been mostly successful. Case in point, as long as everything is maintained, the aboleth that you are getting ready to encounter should never be able to leave the maw.
Yeah. But we can never leave them all either.
Correct. Or, I don't know. This is a prison built for a god. It is a stroke of luck that any gods could interact with those in the maw at all. Are there any questions that you might have for me?
Have I gotten any closer to the book you wanted me to find?
It is located in the Golden City. Where specifically, I do not know. But this book should help you in your journey.
of just
Other than that, I
she kind of just watches you.
don't think I have any other questions.
Very well.
Did you get closer than last time?
You see the other head, like the more evil head, kind of just snickers. He goes,
It wasn't me, I can assure you that much. And I will try to keep you up to date on any new developments with Tiamat, as getting a hold of you would not be good.
No, and I'm pretty sure what I said, if she actually, could hear it, only made it that much worse.
As I was able to understand everything that you said, unfortunately, that means that she did as well.
Good thing
The
my family's already dead.
the avatar that you interacted with, again, was not part of the trial. Which does beg the question. I wonder, I will need to think about it. The egg. The egg was of her making.
and as he says that, you kind of start to feel like the stone, like platform you were on, starts to crumble. And right as it breaks away, you find yourself waking back up in the mall.
Damn it, Mom.
God fucking damn it! Evangeline. So,
Sorry, I'm midship.
as Evangeline in character is midship now. So Evangeline, you go to sleep, and unlike the others, most of your one-on-ones with Bahamut have been primarily just Skype calls.
Mm-hmm.
You awaken to find yourself in an area that's not honestly too dissimilar from like the Dragon Eyrie. You find yourself high above the clouds. Not free falling, thank Christ. But
I'll say I have wings.
I have wings, thank God. But you find yourself in this like high above the clouds in a giant stone like temple. With intricate draconic carvings, showing like wars against the chromatic dragonflight, triumphs that the metallic dragonflight have had, and you see if you didn't, well, you don't know actually. I'll describe this situation first. Not only do you find yourself in this temple, you find yourself kind of surrounded by every single kind of metallic dragon.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like directly next to you. They're pretty far away. They're mostly just kind of watching. They're not giving off
In your experience.
but yeah, you see like gold, silver, brass, all of them. All of these radiating like a power that if they were an enemy, you would have died yesterday.
Oh yeah, no. There's no surviving anything like that.
Thank God. And
Like the fire breath. 3, 2, 1, go.
you kind of pop in. These guys, these dragons, they're ancient dragons. These are titanic creatures that are just they're horrifying. Just like each in one bite, a little light tap with their claw would just be like, oh, I guess I'm gonna turn into dust now. Thank you, goodbye. But they are small compared to the platinum dragon that is sitting in front of you. No insight check needed or anything, but looking around at just these, like, as they kind of watch you, none of them look like they're watching you in, like, a judgmental way. They just kind of look like they're just observing. They're just hanging out.
Kind of like to understand the feeling. Is this the first time she's actually like
This is the first time Evangeline has ever been in this place.
and like seen like what I'm assuming is Bahamut?
Yeah, there's only one. You do know that in your books, there is only one platinum dragon, and that is Bahamut. There
she's
is
a little dumbfounded right now.
yeah. There's a myriad of silver dragons, myriad of gold dragons, myriad of brass, bronze, all of that. There is only one platinum dragon, and it is Bahamut. You see, he kind of looks at you as you kind of just blink into existence, and he goes, "Oh, it's good to see you. I think this is the first time we've actually interacted face to face."
Oh my
You?
you?
Yeah, he just kind of chuckles and he goes, that was the first interaction that your father had when he first saw me. Welcome, Evangeline. It is a pleasure to meet you in person. I'm sure you have a couple questions.
A couple thousand.
A couple. What is this?
What is this?
But he goes like, I'm sure you have a few questions. However, let us get to the primary reason why you were brought here. As much as I would love just general conversation with anybody who works with me or is in service to me, I do have a few things I need to let you know of. First, the kobold in your party, Varaxis, I believe is his name.
Mm-hmm.
He has... Well, he does kind of pause for a second. He goes, well, it seems like Null has already talked to him. So,
Oh, okay.
his trial was interfered with.
Oh.
Fun thing for you, Varaxis, turns out there's probably more than just Null and Tiamat seeing this encounter.
I've impressed or terrified a lot of people.
But Bahamut will continue. He goes, and Tiamat, wounded by the fact that Varaxis, I say wounded, but it's more her pride, which is her defining characteristic. Varaxis being one of the first kobolds to, at least in a long time, to actually basically tell Tiamat to go take a flightless dip off of a cliff,
Oh, oh no.
she's not happy. Which I'm fine with. I don't care if Tiamat is upset or not. However, her being angry at him, she doesn't discriminate. And once she learns, if she hasn't figured it out already, once she learns that you are associated with me, while she can't, just like the rest of the other gods, none of us can actually intrude directly into them all. And while that is great for evil gods, against them being unable to come in and directly smite people, it does mean that the rest of us cannot interfere. At least, not directly. But I just wanted to give you a bit of a warning, and also a clarification. Varaxis, once again, is an individual that has been able to successfully separate from Tiamat, which is it's almost unheard of. I believe some of that has to do with how the Maw operates. And the one to ask would be Null, and honestly, I don't quite like talking to him. He can be a bit of a hassle.
Okay.
He doesn't
Not
like
a
talk.
lot.
He's not. It's more like an acquaintance. There's some things that he does that I'm not quite a fan of, but he does maintain the Eyrie, which is... it is a good place. Anyways, Varaxis is on your side. And unfortunately, he does have a bit of a target on his back now, even more so than before. I just wanted to give you a warning there, so you're not taken by surprise.
Appreciate that. But I'm
Now,
also not entirely surprised. I'm not. I wish I could say I am, but at this point, I don't know.
and he goes, well, yeah. Anyways, the other thing, the creature you're about to encounter, the Aboleth, unfortunately, you are the one with the knowledge of the seals. As much as I
Yeah.
don't enjoy telling my people to abandon others, if you are in a situation where you might be taken by the Aboleth, do everything you can to prevent that from happening. If they get your knowledge, that will start a cascade type of event.
Okay. You know, I feel
So-
like they're also on that boat too. Maybe. I don't want to speak for them, but I have some distinct feelings that might also be the mutual
But
agreement.
in an effort to prevent you from being put in that situation, he kind of looks at you and kind of looks at your staff for a second. He goes, you know, for a group of individuals that don't have gods or even souls, they're pretty good at channeling divine energies. And he kind of reaches down one giant dragon claw, kind of just touches your staff. And you feel your staff kind of not even feel, you're blinded by like this white light for a second.
Flashbang.
Ah, Jesus. And you feel kind of deep down that you feel, well, stronger for one, just in general. And he goes, now, you should be able to use your staff as a, well, I don't know exactly how to describe it, but you should be able to channel a portion of my power through it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he just kind of he looks over to one of the other dragons. He goes, I don't quite know exactly how to describe this, so would anyone like to be might help with a bit of a demonstration? And there is, you see a silver dragon that goes, I can't. And Hobbit kind of gestures to the center of the room, kind of close to you. And he goes, don't worry, this will only take but a second. And he looks to you, Evangeline, and he goes, I can't quite explain exactly how this will work, but you'll be able to see what I mean by a portion. And you see, he kind of just takes a claw and just near like the front claw of the silver dragon, kind of just stabs his foot a little bit. And the silver dragon's like, just doesn't even like really react.
She was just staring.
What the fuck? And Bahamut kind of just a little tiny dragon breath just goes whoosh, breathes on the injury, and the injury's gone. And he goes, that, not the stabbing part, the
Not the stabbing part.
the healing part. And he goes, just invoke me through the staff, and you should be able to do that.
Sounds easy enough.
And he goes, now, with all of the immediately important things out of the way, he looks around, he goes, it seems like we still have a bit of time, as you are still asleep. Well, are there any questions that you have?
Why? Just everything.
Just why everything?
No, it's sorry.
He's like, I'm afraid you're going to have to be a bit more specific.
This is a weird, right? I mean, we usually, this is a lot.
Well, I try at least to interact with my clerics a little bit more frequently, but the maw makes it more difficult. Sometimes there's a bit of a fluctuation, and the rest of us, he kind of just gestures to the air, and he goes, the rest of the other gods try to take advantage of these fluctuations in whatever barrier is protecting them or containing